Hey Spooniverse, thanks for tuning in to Mixology 101, where every Friday around quitting time, Anthony Caparelli, Director of Beverage Studies at the Institute of Culinary Education.
Yeah.
Boom, that's a mouthful.
It's okay, man. Everyone gets it flipped.
He's a cool dude. Teaches me, a rather clumsy spoon editor, how to make an awesome seasonal drink. So, as you watch the magic happen, if you have any questions, shoot them in the comments below here, and we will answer them for you. And by we, I mean Anthony.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So, you'll answer all the questions.
Yeah, right. Oh, right.
First question, what are we making?
Okay, so this week we have been going through the apple sort of theme, right, for fall.
Love it.
We started with non-alcoholic cider. We moved to alcoholic cider. Last week we did Applejack, which is a freeze distilled spirit. And this week we're going to do Calvados, which is apple brandy, and that is an actual heat distilled spirit. So there's two reasons we're doing this drink. One, I want to keep the apple theme going, and I want to talk a little bit about distillation, heat distillation. But also, this is the second of David Embry's classic 6 cocktails from the fine art of mixing drinks, which we talked about last time. And then we're going to follow with the 4 other ones. So this will be one of the only places, I think, on the web where you can get all 6 of his classic cocktails in video format, which will be really, really cool for Spooniverse people. Cool?
Who's thirsty?
All right, so we're going to do a sidecar. Now, the classic sidecar is actually made with grape brandy, but we're going to use apple brandy, which is totally fine. So the definition of brandy is a spirit that's been distilled from a fruit, and either cider or wine usually is what we start with. So if you take the fermented cider that we did in the second video and you heat it up, a couple things happen. But the thing we're looking for is that the alcohol separates from the water, and that allows us to produce a spirit. So what temperature does water boil at, do you know?
I'm going to shout out to my high school chem teacher and go with 212 Fahrenheit.
That's right. The New York area code. 212 Fahrenheit. So ethyl alcohol, if you remember, ethyl alcohol freezes at a lower temperature than water, but it also boils at a lower temperature than water. It boils at 173. So if I have cider, apple cider with alcohol in it, and I heat it to somewhere between 173 and 212, guess what? The ethanol boils, the water doesn't. So I separate the two. So now I have ethanol vapor, which I can capture, usually in a cone, and then cool down in a spiral tube. And what I'm drawing in the air is a still. And you've all seen these. You can Google still. So what that does is it captures the ethanol vapor, and then that spiral cools it back down below 173 degrees. So it turns back into a liquid, and you end up with water and cider solids over here where you started, and you end up with ethyl alcohol liquid over here at the end. So that becomes unaged Calvados, and then we put it in oak casks, and we end up with this little gorgeous drink. And this is named for the Calvados region of France. You can make it, it's primarily made with apples, but you can also make it with pears. Okay, so because it's brandy and because it is beautiful, we're going to use it to make a sidecar.
Awesome.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, you're already a pro with most of the technique, so this will be review. You can see, obviously, I have some condensation, so you know I filled my tin with ice about 2/3 of the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 1.5 ounces of Calvados. So I'm going to have you use both sides today. All right, and if you remember, so this side is 1 ounce. Boom, and then we're going to just flip it over, and you've done this a million times, and we're going to go 1/2 ounce on the other side, so that's 1.5 ounces of Calvados. And we're going to sweeten it with Cointreau. Already, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I love this stuff.
Love it.
So Cointreau is nothing more than a brand name Triple Sec, which is an orange liqueur. Now, the difference between a liqueur and a liquor is that a liqueur is sweetened and flavored. So this is orange and sugar and basically vodka. Kind of like that, okay? So we're going to do 1/2 ounce, and this is going to serve to sweeten the drink, but also to flavor the drink. Good? Now I need something to balance that sweetness, and we're going to use lemon. So because we're going to squeeze it, I'm going to roll it, and I'm going to cut it in half, and we're going to squeeze it just like we did last week, but I only want half of the lemon, so I'll let you use that one. And now when you're doing a half, what I like to do is take it at a 45-degree angle. You remember last week we had them facing, and basically the same technique. And if you do it nice and slow, you can see the liquid runs right down the lemon, right down that 45-degree angle. Turn it 90 degrees, squeeze it again, and as long as you don't do it too hard, it's going to go right in the glass, which is exactly where you want it. And then you can go ahead and do the exact same thing you saw me do last week, which is roll it. And you can see I get all those seeds in the drink, and there's nothing wrong with that. I absolutely love it. Most of them will come out when I strain it. And then I'm going to take all of those essential oils on the zest and drop that in so that the alcohol can dissolve.
It is so fragrant.
Good.
In here.
Now, before I'm going to go ahead and put this in, twist and lock. But before I shake it, I want to prepare my glass because a Sidecar is traditionally made in what we call a prepped or prepared glass. And I basically have just some fresh lemon juice that I've mixed some sugar into. So I have basically like lemon flavored simple syrup, and I'm going to dip the rim in that, not too much. And then I have fresh made cinnamon sugar. Half cinnamon, half superfine sugar or bar sugar, and just a light touch, and just pick it up and drop it a couple times. I don't want too much. Can you see? I don't want too much on the rim.
Delicate.
Right. Everything is restraint. Beautiful. So now that goes there.
Fancy yet easy.
Shake it up, right? Yeah. Shake it till the tin frosts. That was like my catchphrase for years when I had my web video series, Art of the Drink. Shake it till the tin frosts. Now again, I'm going to stop a little bit early just because it's not the most interesting thing to watch.
Workout.
Morgan wants to know, where did you learn all of these things?
Ah, good question. Working for a long, long time as a bartender. I also have a mechanical engineering degree, so I do a lot of research and I try and apply science to anything that I do. I don't like to do things without thinking about them, so as I'm working 10, 12-hour shifts behind the bar, if I have to do something like shake, I'll go home that night and be like, why am I shaking? What's the best way to shake? I don't like to say, well, someone taught me this. I like to kind of figure it out and then test it if I can, which I've done. Okay, so now this gets strained into our prepared glass. And another wonderful thing that I want you to see, so first of all, you can see I caught all those seeds with that strainer.
Totally.
And the martini glass should always have a good half inch to a full inch below the rim. Please don't ask people to fill up your martini glass. It's not designed for that. It's going to spill all over the place, and there's a lot of liquid because of the way a cone works. There's a lot of liquid in there. You're not going to believe me, half the volume of the drink is between the liquid level and the top. So if I were to just top this up, I am basically doubling the volume of that drink. Try it at home. I do this all over the country to bar owners. So that is a proper martini pour. Okay, give that a try. Oh wait, I'm sorry, we got to garnish it, right?
Absolutely.
I'm so excited to have you try that. So I'm going to do a little different garnish for you. What I'm going to do, you saw me, I'm going to, what we call cap the orange, cut off the blossom and stem end, so I have a nice stable platform to work on. This takes a little bit of practice to get right. And then I'm going to run the knife down the skin, and what I'm trying to do is get as much of the orange part, which is what we call the zest, and as little of the white part, which is what we call the pith, as possible. So you can see zest and pith. So you can see I barely have any white on there. The white is bitter. The orange has all those great oils that flavor it. So I'm going to put this now between my thumbs and then my index and middle finger, just like that, with the orange part out. And I'm going to pop it over the drink. But before I do that, I would, if this was for service, I would do it down here. But I want everyone to see what happens when I pop it in the air. Okay, ready? I'm just going to pop it. You see that?
The oils just exploded.
All over the place. So I would normally put that in the drink, and some went in there. And if I didn't have it rimmed, I could just kind of run this around the rim, but I don't need to do that. And I'm just going to put that in and let that dissolve the rest of the oils. So see what you think about that.
Oh my God, it tastes even better than it smells.
Good?
This is awesome.
Not too sweet, right?
I think this is my favorite so far.
Oh, I love it.
Whoa.
Cool.
Yeah, this is incredible. Such a good balance, and the rim. Oh my God, I want to drink all of this.
I love it. So again, we can control the sweetness of this by either, the rim has sugar, which is great, but not too much. Pay attention to that.
Just a little bit.
This, you can, if you want a little sweeter, add a little bit more. If you like it a little what we call drier, less sweet, a little bit less. But this is how you control your sweetness. Okay?
So tasty.
Ready to make it?
So ready.
All right,
let's do this.
Do it. So you have ice in your tin already?
I have ice in my tin. Gonna remember my fingers so
I
the top
love it.
doesn't fall
Look at
off.
this.
All right. And we're going for one big guy.
Yep, and that's 1 ounce. Now, jiggers come in all different sizes, so make sure you read the numbers on the side of your jigger so you can see what you have. Some are 2 on one side, 1 on the other side. It's all different.
And then half an ounce.
Yep.
Boom.
You are getting really good at this.
You know, I have a great teacher.
Oh, no, so you have to find a bartending job so you can make me drinks.
Absolutely. How
1
how
half
much
ounce.
Half ounce of this?
Yeah, 1/2 ounce. And that's going to balance the ounce and a half of Calvados really, really nicely.
Well, it smells so good.
Good?
Okay.
Give me a little lemon
now
squeeze.
we're going to do half a lemon squeeze.
Yep.
So we're doing a 45 degree
45 degree angle, and you're a little flat, so kind of tilt it a little bit. What you want to do that way, so it runs down. Yeah, so you create that And look at how beautiful that is. Great job. Great job. And then
Little
twist
turn.
it. Yup.
Keep it going.
Good.
Do a little roll.
Now this is why our hands are impeccably clean. If you were doing this in a restaurant, you'd actually want to wear gloves or some barrier. But remember, this is highly acidic. So any germs that you have are probably going to be taken care of by the lemon juice, but it's still gross. So keep your hands clean or wear gloves if you're doing it in a restaurant.
Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we shake this, should get my glass ready, right?
You should get your glass ready, yes.
So a little bit of this
Yep.
lemon juice and sugar, not too much, just a little dabbing. That was
Yep.
maybe too much. On
No,
the side.
no, that's
Okay.
fine.
All right, a little sugar.
That's it.
Groovy.
Look at that, perfect. Nice and light, just the way I like to see it.
So fancy.
Yes.
All right. So now we're gonna do it a little bit at an angle.
Yep, just push it, twist it and pull it back towards you, and you'll feel it lock. You got it.
It's locked.
And shake it up.
There it is.
Nice, look at this. You're already getting muscle memory here. That's awesome.
I think that
Awesome.
this is a dance move in the making.
Yeah, I've seen this actually done as a dance move in competitions.
Too cool. All right, it's feeling frosty.
Okay.
And
Now
now
you
we do fingers at a little angle.
There you
And
go.
push it
That's
this
the
way,
key
right?
is that the glass has to be leaning to the left or the right. There you go.
And then
Yes.
we push it, boom.
And see, just like
unlocks.
that.
Like a key.
Fantastic.
All right. Let's see.
Now, if you put your finger on the other side of the tab, you can actually control the closure. See, so go ahead and do that and tighten it up really good.
Fancy spring in there.
Yeah, and so for something like this, tighten it up because that's going to catch the seeds.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you
Silly
haven't
little
thought
things.
of?
I try to not charge people for things that I haven't thought of. Good job.
All
Good
right.
job. Nicely done.
Boom.
Now let's see
Okay.
if we can get this peel going. And this
Tricky part.
This is tricky, so don't be hard on yourself.
All right. So I'm gonna try and not get too much of the white.
Yep.
Just a little.
Okay, seriously, have you done this before? Wait, really? Nicely done.
You know.
That's probably the best first peel I've ever seen. No, seriously,
stop.
that's awesome.
I was born to peel oranges.
Okay, good job. Nicely done.
All right.
Alright.
So now I'm gonna pop it in the drink like
Yep.
this.
And what I want you to
because
do is don't go. So
go lengthwise.
go the short way. Yeah, you get a little more
Okay.
resistance and it'll pop a little better.
Totally.
And right over.
All right.
Good.
And then pop that
just
in?
drop it in. Why, thank
How'd
you.
I do?
Don't mind if I do. The nose on this is just gorgeous.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the cinnamon
It's
and the
so
lemon
fragrant.
just, yeah, it's fantastic.
Even if you don't want to drink it, just to make your house smell great.
Oh, it's amazing.
All right.
Nicely
I'll
done.
cheers to that.
Cheers.
Well, thanks again for joining us in Mixology 101, and we will see you next week.
Cheers.
Bottoms up.